Hey kids, I'm in the kitchen again this evening, and tonight we're going to make a fake Philly cheese steak skillet. Let me show you what I got out for the cook. So here's the basics. We just got some cheese, some peppers, some onion, and some garlic. So I'm going to get these all chopped up and prepped, and I'll let you know the quantities here in just a minute. Okay, I've got some onion, both red and white, some green capsicums or green peppers, some red capsicums, some jalapenos, some Roma Tomatoes, some mushrooms, some mozzarella cheese, and some olive oil. I've got a couple pounds of ground beef in the sink, ready to go. That's been thawed and ready to go, and we have our skillet heating up. It's not quite ready yet, but we're really close. So we'll start cooking here in a bit. Okay, so our skillet is warmed up. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil and grab my first package of beef. I've actually a mix. This is 93.7, and then I have a 95.15. That's what I had in the fridge right here. So we're going to break that up a little bit in there. Make it like a patty. Like that. Flatten it down a little bit, and we're going to let it sear just like that. And then flip it over just like a big, big burger. You'll see what happens. It's going to be great. So what I'm doing right now is I just got the temperature turned up nice and high. I think it's about a 6.5, 7 or so on my skillet, on my stove. And you see that it's lifting up off there the way we want it to. So we're just going to pick up a piece like that and flip it over. And that's going to give us some nice sear on our meat. Oh, it's looking good already. Just going to flip it over like that and let it cook a little bit more on the other side. That good sear. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and we're back in another couple minutes or so. It's been about another 3 minutes or so, and what I'm going to do now is just take our garlic and dump it on there. Get that last little bit out of the container there. And we're going to add our onions and just let all that stuff cook together, right, just like that. And we'll check this back in about another 2 to 3 minutes or so. About 2 minutes has passed, and now we're going to start breaking all this up. I've got out a wooden spatula here. And that's giving us a really good sear on both sides of that meat. I'm just going to start breaking it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be super fine, but enough to let it start to cook through a little bit more. Alright, that looks good. Alright, we'll let this cook a little bit more, a couple, 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we'll be back. It's been another couple minutes or so, and now I'm going to just start flipping this a little bit so that we can get the burger that has not fully cooked yet down in some good heat, and also stir around our onions and our garlic. As you can see, most of that burger is cooked through already, and that's good. So what we're going to do now, here that we got this stirred around a little bit, is we're going to put our green peppers on top. Put on our green peppers and our red peppers and our jalapenos. Let that cook in a little bit until they start to get translucent. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lid on it a little bit so it'll steam. Oh, that looks good. Stir that around here a little bit and see how it's going. Oh yeah, that's looking nice. Oh, it's smelling really good too. Just going to stir that down a little bit. Our onions are getting translucent. Our peppers are not quite where we want them yet, but they're going to get that way. Just going to let it slow cook. Tossing all of our stuff down in there, get everything incorporated. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and add our tomatoes. We got about 2 cups of Roma tomatoes that we've diced up. I'm just going to pour that on top of there with all the good juice. Spread that around there a little bit like that. And put the lid back on. So we'll let that cook about 2-3 minutes or so. Okay, this has been cooking for a couple, 2 or 3 minutes or so. Ooh, that's nice. Take a look and see what we got here. Oh yeah, this is looking really nice. Tomatoes are starting to cook, which is what we want. And break up any more really large pieces of ground beef. Just give everything a little stir. Going to add a little bit of salt and pepper now to it as well. Stir that in. Of course, we try to watch how much salt and pepper we use. Well, salt in particular. So you can season this however you prefer. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Okay. So what we're going to do now is taking, oh yeah, that's looking nice. It smells great too. We're going to take and put some mushrooms in there. That. And stir that around a little bit. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Well, that's going to be a lot of good food right there. And we're just going to let that stuff cook for a little while, probably about 15-20 minutes or so, and then top it with some cheese. So we're going to let that cook. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. It's been about 20 minutes. Let's take a look and see what this looks like. Oh yeah, baby. That's looking good. Got a little bit of moisture in there from the tomatoes and the peppers and such like that. We can cook off if we wish. So I think what we're going to do at this point, everything looks really, really good. So we're going to leave it open. And we're going to cover this puppy with some cheese and let it melt. I think that'd be a good idea. Everything's a little bit better with cheese, right? Well, if I can get it out of my jar here. Let's try this again. Woo! That's a big chunk. So we're just going to cover it like that. This is mozzarella. Or mozzarella, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Alright, we're just going to leave it like that and let it cook for a few minutes until that starts to melt. So it has been, I don't know, about 10 minutes or so. The cheese is melted. We still have some fluid in there. You could drain that off and use it for soup stock if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to kind of stir all that cheese in there. And the last thing we're going to add is about half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and that'll help tighten up the whole mix. So we're just going to spread that in there like that. Take a minute and stir that all in. And if you'll notice, it's going to start absorbing all that extra liquid we have in there. Oh yeah, baby. Check that out. don't know if you can see how well that's doing because of the fog on the lens there. But that is absorbing a lot of the extra moisture. We're going to top that with a little bit more cheese and call that done. I'm going to serve that on some fresh homemade bread. And that is dinner. Hope you enjoy.